YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more NFL team-by-team record predictions. We went through plenty of teams already, so if you haven't seen any of those, go check them out on the channel. But we're on to the AFC South teams, starting with the Houston Texans, then we'll do the Indianapolis Colts, then the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the Tennessee Titans. So the Texans, not just the Texans, the AFC South, very hard to predict. You can't really count the Colts out because Andrew Luck's back, but I'm looking at the other three teams. I think that if they finish in any order, they could finish in any order, and I would not be surprised, really. So, the Jaguars are the favorites, but the Texans and the Titans, I think it's realistic they can win the division. So we'll see how it plays out here. Very hard to predict how these teams will be. With the Texans, I'm pretty worried about their offensive line, to be honest. I think it's projected to be the worst in the league. They're going to have some young guys step up, like Julian Davenport, Martinez Rankin. We'll see how much those guys play. But it's a little scary, not just because of the offensive line unit, but because Deshaun Watson coming off the injury, he's going to be getting rushed. He projected to be getting rushed quite a bit. Luckily, he's very athletic and mobile. But, and then you look back at last year when he was in, the offensive line really wasn't that much of an issue, somewhat of an issue, but it didn't affect him that much before the injury. And obviously they have a great receiver duo, maybe the best in football, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. Will Fuller, another guy with some injuries here and there last year. I think he'll be healthy this year, and he's got elite speed down the field, knows how to get open, good after the catch. Very fun to watch. For running back, I like Lamar Miller. He's been pretty good over the years, but it's kind of seems the Texans are trying to give him less carries, trying to go away from him. They have Alfred Blue, they have Deontay Foreman, and they were trying to get Foreman going more, but then another guy that got hurt, so hopefully he's good to go for the season. They could get better at running back. They can get a legit number one guy. I think Lamar Miller can be that guy. Do they want him to be that guy? That's the question. And then looking at on the defensive side, we're going to keep using if they're healthy for this team. If they're healthy, they're a good team. J.J. Watt, maybe the best player in football, best defensive player in football if he's healthy. That linebacker unit, very, very good, really coming together. McKinney, been playing very solid. And then Jadeveon Clowney, obviously, is maybe one of the better run stoppers in football. And if good pass rusher, but if he can develop more of a pass rush game, which is realistic because he's young, he's still learning the position, then he's going to be scary. He's going to be very, very good. So Clowney's a guy to look out for. Already good the way he is, but can get better. They draft Zach Cunningham out of Vanderbilt from last year. Great rookie season. He's going to continue to get better. Great linebacker unit all together there. So if I had to point something out about the defense, maybe the weakness is the secondary. Not bad, though. They get Tyrann Mathieu, projected to play safety, was more of a slot/box guy, could play corner. And they get Aaron Colvin in there, who is one of the better slot corners in football, so they get him. So they kind of got two of those guys. I think Matthew will play safety, though. Really, other than that, they're going to need some guys to step up. Kevin Johnson really hasn't lived up to the hype yet. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't really lived up to what we expected from him yet. So maybe he steps up this year. I think he's going to need to. So I think overall, pretty darn good team, very athletic team. A team that can really put up points, but it's kind of on the offensive line. On the defense side, you got to put a little bit on the secondary, but mainly staying healthy. That's the thing. So let's get on the schedule. Week 1 in New England. Texans played very well against Patriots last year. I talk about Week 1. Anything can happen. We see the Patriots struggle on defense in Week 1 last year. So this could be a shootout, and I expect it to be. But it's kind of hard to pick against the Patriots at home here. I think they'll be more ready. Again, could go either way. I'm picking the Patriots. So Week 2 at the Titans. The Texans-Titans games I'm really looking forward to. Going to be very fun to watch. The Jaguars are right there with them for competing for the division. Jaguars are probably the favorites, but just something about this matchup. High-powered offenses. We're projecting them to have high-powered offenses. You got Watson versus Mariota, somewhat similar. Going to be fun to watch. I'm going to take Tennessee at home in this one. I think the Titans offense takes a big step up from what it was last year. I'll take the Titans. So the Texans starting 0-2. I think they're a very good team, but rough schedule from the start. Home against the Giants. I like the Texans in this one. I like them at home. And the Giants, I think, what are we going to get from Eli? I don't know about, not really going to get a whole bunch. Saquon Barkley might help them win quite a bit of games. But I think the Texans can stop the run very well. So I like the Texans matchup, and they're at home. I'll take them here. Week 4, Texans at Colts. This is a tough one. I think the Texans are better. The Colts, there's some people that think the Colts could compete in this division. With Andrew Luck, you can't really count them out, T.Y. Hilton. But then the rest of the team's kind of still in that rebuild mode. They got the draft picks. They made the good selections. They kind of got to develop them. Defensive side, it's looking good for the future, but it's a pretty weak defense right now, I think. I expect guys like Malik Hooker to step up, be very good, but I think the Texans put up too many points on them here. I'll take the Texans. Home against the Cowboys. Similar teams here. I think similar offenses. I think it can be a high-scoring game. And then you look at the defenses. I think the Texans, if healthy, have a better defense easily than the Cowboys. And they're at home, so I will take the Texans here. I think they got the matchup. I think they can slow down Zeke. They're not going to stop him. They're not going to shut him down completely, but I think they can slow him down enough. And then week 6, home against the Bills. Texans got to be heavy favorites here. The Bills' defense could maybe match up against this offense, but I don't know if the Bills' offense will score enough points to win in Houston. I will take the Texans. Week 7, in Jacksonville. Another great division game here. These games are going to be so important. Like they are every year, but this year is going to be very fun to watch. In Jacksonville, that kind of gives maybe the edge to the Jaguars there. And, I talk about the offensive line scares me a little bit on the Texans, and you got a phenomenal pass rush on the Jaguars here. So I think that they really get after Watson, throw him off a little bit, but they're going to need to score some points too as well. But I got the Jaguars. Week 8, home against the Dolphins, Thursday night football in Houston. The Dolphins could be a sneaky team, sleeper team, but I'm really not hesitating there in Houston on Thursday nights. Too much offense, I think. So I'll go with the Texans. Week 9 is in Denver. The Broncos are a team I'm back and forth on, really. I'm kind of liking them, kind of liking the talent they got, and I'm kind of like, what Keenum are we going to get? The defense, it's not really the same as it once was, still can be good. I'm kind of back and forth. But I'm going to play the matchup game here. It is in Denver, keep in mind. And Von Miller and the rest of that defense, they bring a good pass rush. So I think they're going to get after Watson here. They could struggle to score, though. That's why I'm kind of iffy about it. But I'm going to take the Broncos because I think the pass rush wins the game here. Week 10 is the bye week. Then they're going to Washington. I think a good game since it's in Washington. The Redskins defense, that's another defense where you don't know what you're going to get. They've been giving up some points last few years. They do have some big-time playmakers, though, and their weakness was stopping the run. They go and draft a couple of run stoppers. Not they're going to help them that much right away, but they definitely got better. They can get some pass rush going in this game, but I think the Texans score a lot of points on them if they're healthy at this point. So I'll go with the Texans. Monday night, home against Tennessee. I think both the games against Tennessee can go either way. They should be fun to watch. But in Houston on Monday night, I got to take the Texans, but it's gonna be a good one. Home against the Browns. Like I said in the past, you can't really count the Browns out. Very talented if you look at their roster, but then coaching comes into play, decision-making comes into play. Their secondary looks good for the future, but I think that's where they could struggle, their secondary. So I think the Texans could air it out on them here in this game. I will take the Texans in Week 13. Home against the Colts, Week 14. I will take the Texans. So I got them going 2-0 on that one. I think the Colts defense will struggle. They got a couple of young guys, and I'm really excited to watch. They could be good, but they're not developed yet. They're still in that developmental stage. So I'll take the Texans offense in that one. In New York against the Jets. Oh man, this is tough because in the Jets video, I was feeling the upset. I picked the Jets, but maybe a change of mind here because the Texans they're much better. Are they going to be healthy at this point of the season? That's the question. Man, the Jets are the biggest question mark team. The quarterback. We don't know there's 3 guys that can play at quarterback. I'm a fan of Teddy Bridgewater. I think they'll win more games if they play him. I don't know if they play him, though. What are they going to be doing at this point of the season? I try to pick some upsets in these, but I think the more and more upsets I pick, the more likely I'm going to get a lot wrong, because they don't happen too often. I think the Texans are just much better. The question is, are they going to be healthy at this point? The question for the Jets is their season going to be over at this point? Who's going to be their quarterback? Are they going to be throwing somebody new in there? So with all these questions, I think you got to go with the Texans here. I think they're the better team. It is Saturday Night Football, or 4:30 p.m. Eastern there. So, I mean, that could favor the Jets at home on a Saturday, shorter week. I just got to go with the better team here. Week 16. So we're at 10-4, starting off 0-2, going 10-4. Again, I think very good team. They were looking very good before they got beat up last year. Week 16 in Philadelphia. I think the Eagles' defense can slow them down enough, and they will score points on them at the same time. I like the Eagles at home. And then week 17, home against the Jags. This is tough. At home, they may be the favorites against the Jags, but this late in the season, how healthy will the Texans be? And I'm kind of back to the matchup game. I think that pass rush is too much for the Texans' offensive line to handle. I would take the Jaguars in that one. So 10-6, pretty good record. This was maybe one of the harder ones I did recently. I was I didn't know which direction to go right here when I was at week 4 at Indianapolis. I was where was the next one? Next one was against the Broncos. They can win that. But again, back to week 4, they can easily lose that. They can lose in Washington. Washington's it's a hard field to play on. And then, the division games. Like I had them going 2-0 against the Colts. That may not happen. I think that I'm pretty confident they'll split with the Titans. I don't see either one going 2-0 against the other. Against the I had the Jags going 2-0. That's kind of the matchup game, but maybe the Jags offense doesn't get going in these games. So Texans defense can be pretty solid if healthy. So that could go either way. Like I said in the Jets video, I picked the Jets. I was feeling the upset at the time. This time I just had a change of mind there. So could go either way. So 10-6, even though ending with a 2-game losing streak because tough matchups there. 10-6, very good record, and that puts them in the playoffs. Ignore who they're playing there. That will change once I get through these. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm thinking, unless they get beat up again, let's just say if they stay healthy, key players stay healthy, I think the least amount of games won is 9, at least. So, I mean, if they get beat up again, I mean, it really depends on who gets hurt. If Deshaun Watson is out, they're not making the playoffs. That's just how we've seen how much they struggle with a different quarterback. So let's hope he stays healthy. Hopefully that injury, doesn't affect him going forward. Seemed to recover very fast. Very impressive. Very impressive guy altogether. Can he continue to get better too? It's just, you gotta like Deshaun Watson. Gotta like him. So. Definitely a team to watch out for. Hopefully they stay healthy. That's really the key. But that'll do it for the Texans video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. We're going to keep going through all these teams. And our subscriber goal is 10K subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so to help us out. And don't forget to click that like button. That'd be much, much appreciated. But that'll do it for this one. Stay tuned for more. Goodbye.